We move over to race number 2. It's 7 furlongs. 75 to 90 if you're a 3-year-old, or 60 to 70 if you're a 4-year-old, or 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, you know what it is, but benchmark racing. Benchmark 75, yeah. I thought the benchmark meant you carried 62, so I can't understand why they were in at 60.
It all depends.
On the bottom weight.
On the bottom weight,
I thought benchmarks wouldn't change.
Yeah.
So that kind of threw me a little bit.
It's such a tight handicap, isn't
yeah.
it? That basically everybody's well in, I think.
Well, look, it's a full field, 16 runners.
Yeah.
I have 2 of them. I have my own opinion. So
are you happy with the draws?
Well, we haven't got the outside draw. What I actually said last night was, as we're going to have 2 horses in 2 races, then at least we can't have the outside draw 5 times.
Exactly, yeah. True.
Pat Dobbs, riding 3 of my horses, he's been drawn 9 3 times.
Call the police.
Turn it upside down. 666.
Oh, the devil, yeah. Okay, listen, I'm going to talk about one I'm going to tip straight away.
You go straight.
I'm going to go for Surge Ahead, the Ali Rashid Al Ray horse who ran a cracker against Parvez last time out over a shorter distance. He was finishing and just got done on the nod, really. So this step up to 1400 metres, he ran okay over at Jebel Ali, which was a bit of a tough 1400 metres, I think. Yeah. I'm just going to give him a chance. Western French in the saddle, got a good drawing from 5. He's my little pick from the race, but I mean you could make cases for lots of these horses, including a couple of your fellas, Prince Sean and Final Recovery. Prince Sean well drawn in 14, and I think he ran so well here first time out, he must have a chance. Parvez is there again, who beat Surge Ahead, but the reason I have not gone with Parvez is 1400, he hasn't tackled for quite a while, and looks like that Druba's been sprinkling him for a reason, and this is probably the only race he could run in for a while anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean there's no racing really for this standard of horse at Jebel Ali in 2 weeks' time, so you've got a month before, so pretty much they all had to go.
Sure.
I'm not sure 7 furlong suits Parvez. Sorry, yeah, 1400 suits Parvez. I think he was coming towards the end of his stamina over 6.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Looking back at that race, I'm not as sure, and I don't mean this nastily, I'm not as sure Surge Ahead's finish was as good as Parvez slowing. And he's gone up 3.
No, true. But the way he was shaping in the race, another furlong, he'd have been well ahead of him. That's my point.
I think he'd have been well ahead of him, but I think he was stopping. I think Parvez is a more of a 5 furlong horse. Surge Ahead, possibly 6. They've both gone up for that.
Yeah.
And in this category of horses, to go up £3 is quite harsh.
You can do, yeah, that's right. It's true. Very true.
I've looked ahead now. Maltese Cat was in that race. Maltese Cat definitely needs further.
Yeah.
And was 3.5 lengths behind him, and he's got £3 or £4 pull now. So that throws him into the mix.
Sure.
But I would think William Twiston Davis has got 2nd or 3rd choice there. I don't think he's got 1st choice at the Masaba horse. I could be wrong.
No, I'm not sure.
So that's the thing. 1 and 2 in the race. Count Paris, he was behind first night, but that was off 60. He's running off 75 today, back at MEYDAN. Puts me off that a little bit.
Yeah, same here.
Final Recovery is interesting for me because his runs haven't been great at Jebel Ali, but each jockey has said to us, until he hit the hill, there was a lot left, but he seemed to not like the hill now.
But when he ran at MEYDAN over this trip, not the second time, the first time, when he'd been forfeited by Furness, so he only beat 3/4.
He should have won that night.
Yeah, he's rated 75 then, so he really has got a bit of a rating now that should allow him to do quite well.
Here's one for you. I wanted to put him in the mile, so we'd have a runner in the mile instead of 2 in this. Pat Dobbs had the choice of horses. He suggested we put him in the 7. He said this is his race and I'd rather ride Final Recovery than Prince Sean, who finished like a train here last time. And was my pick for the race. I was a bit nervous at one stage, thinking Prince Sean was going to be balloted out and then I wouldn't have been happy. But as it happened, he got in. but Pat Dobbs is very strong on final recovery in this race. He thinks this is his race. Saying that, I'll mention my other one now. Prince Sean, I've been saying, needs 7 furlongs at MEYDAN. When he was beaten over the mile, at the 7 furlong point, he was by far going better. 7 is his optimum trip in my opinion.
I know you've been asking for this a long while, haven't you?
At MEYDAN, so I have to go with Prince Sean.
Good.
I think Prince Sean over 7. Sam Wright got on very well with him over the mile, and I think over this trip it's been screaming for him. So Prince Sean to me.
I'm pleased you're tipping it. I really am. And I hope you do well. I'll just give my. I'd like to go final recovery as the alternative, but I'm going to go Surge Ahead.
Surge Ahead.
That's my little pick there.
Okay, well I think final recovery. You know, Pat's a good judge. He's got a chance.
No.
So as it stands,
he's riding well actually.
Yeah.
Obviously, no.
Well, you know I like him as a jockey. So.
And Sam Hitchcock is there, so it's, you've got as much as chance as anybody.
So there you go. I'm going Prince Sean. Surge Ahead. Pat Dobbs is saying final recovery. Pick one of those.
Yeah, there you go.
See what Pat Cummins comes up with as well. It'll be completely different. That's race number 2.